All right, Patreon fam, I have some end of the year updates, reflections on things that have been going on that I want you to be aware of so that we roll into the new year and you're informed with what's coming up and what's happening on this channel. So, life updates. I've spent a ton of time, first of all, well, the holidays were awesome. I spent a little bit of time in San Diego and a little bit of time here in Reno with some family friends and such. It was amazing. Now, what I've been also focusing on a ton is just life in behavior analysis and where that's going to go for 2019. So there's people asking for some various video work. So I've been working on figuring out who will be clients for 2019, what it's going to look like, writing up proposals. I've shared on this channel, it's a lot more work than most people expect. And what goes into building any sort of video and crafting something that people are actually going to want to watch. So as people ask for those sort of things, there's proposals and budgets and things, those sort of things that go out there. The other side is, how do I more strategically create content that you want to watch, that brands like, that I work with, and that really at the end of the day will be heard by people outside of this field. This year was an experimental year on like, could I survive? Is this something I really want to do? Survive being like, can I get through it and learn something and want to do it again? Am I happy? Those sort of things. The answer is yes. Next side is, how do you financially make this sort of stuff happen? Client work that I do outside of this field averages at about $750 per finished minute of video. You'll notice we're about 1 minute and 30 seconds into this right now. You're like, what? That's absurd. That's insane. A simple talk video is very different than the time and care that goes into something like that 1 Minute Monday video that I did. And now when you're talking about doing that for somebody else and capturing circumstances that may require 2 or 3 people, like, you can see where this starts to add up pretty quickly. And 50 to 60% of the time is always in the editing and the post-production. So anyhow, I've got to figure out how to allocate the time and build this up in a way that's financially sustainable throughout this year. Or else it will close in 2020. Like, there's no reason to really keep going at this pace, at least that way. Now, that doesn't mean anything is changing right now. Like, everything's perfect, we're good to go. Just the net year at the end of 2018 was a loss in the books. And that was planned. Like, it is an investment thing. Your people supporting I consider each you an early adopter. I ran the numbers and shared a post. 1 in 1,300 people that consume content on this channel are folks like yourself that are actually supporting. So thank you very much. I just want you to know like where I'm thinking. And the point here is that needs to be mindful for something sustainable, but that should not be meaning that it's not something that you actually want to consume and watch. So if it ever gets that way with any of that sort of stuff, let me know. One angle that I've been working on quite extensively actually is the Controversial Exchange. Now, this will be the companion podcast wing to the Daily BA. The idea is something that's going out at least monthly, maybe every 2 weeks, we'll see. That is controversial in nature. Why? Because people love and enjoy that sort of stuff. That said, there's also not an honest conversation that's going on at a group level in our field. This stuff happens at bars, it happens in closed doors when we're talking amongst ourselves and our colleagues, in centers. But it's not happening on a large, grand cultural level of behavior analysts really talking about these controversial things. So topics like, do we deserve to branch outside of autism? That is planned, scripted. We just finished the meeting actually on who's going to be recording on that. And I'm super stoked for that one. But it is those sort of conversations that we're going to have on that podcast wing, again called the Controversial Exchange. You will know first where to subscribe, where to find it. You're going to have the access to the first one early as well. It's going to be here posted for everybody. I'm going to be moving that into a video realm. So let me rewind. The podcast is going to be freely available for anyone everywhere. Like, that's good to go. Don't worry about that. You yourselves included. You're going to know what's coming up earlier, typically, as long as I have my stuff together. Now, the video component, we are going to have that. We've actually recorded the first 2 episodes. I'm going through the editing process of those. And those will be available for everybody that's at the $10 and higher tier on Patreon. So just know that there's a video component that's going to go out there. I will be sharing teasers and bits. Think about things that are like 3 to 10 minutes long from there that are really interesting. Those will be dripped onto the YouTube channel as well. Facebook for people to go out and check out. to essentially entice listening to the entire episode. It's gonna be long form, that meaning an hour and a half to 3 hours. It's gonna be crazy long. But when you're talking about something as extensive of like why our field doesn't deserve to branch outside of autism, like you can see why those sort of things need to be taken in a really in-depth approach. So that's coming up. What else? Conferences for next year. There are 4 Next Gen events. That is a ton. If there's anything that I learned this year, it is that conferences are a lot to put on. We successfully hosted 2 conferences. We're doubling that. I say we because there's a couple different partners. As those are together, I will share them with you where we're going to be. I always try to work out a discount for anybody that supports on this channel, but just know that's like a separate area of my life that helps a couple things, my personal, professional goals, but also helps when it comes to paying the bills at the end of the day. So that has been consuming a ton of my time. When you're talking about any conference requires, I haven't checked, but I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of planning documents. The actual organizing document for all the documents that we actually have is itself 2 pages of just straight pure links, and then an actual companion document that's about 20 pages that just says what the intention is, what we're doing, who's responsible for what, how that's all going to go. So we're doing a lot of reaching out to different speakers, venues, figuring all those sort of things out. It's going to be super awesome. This downtime is actually perfect for me to organize all that, get it together. By the end of January, I'll have a bow tied on that so that we know what's going on. I don't know if that's relevant or interesting to y'all, but just like the reason that I'm not uploading consistently is giving a little bit of facelift to the channel, like I talked about, figuring out how to get other past projects that are committed off of my back. I don't know if you know this, but part of the reason that I get to do this is because I work in videos outside of the field. Realty is one of them. And I do realty promo videos because they pay very well and they allow me to pursue my passion and these sort of things. So in a way, they subsidize the channel just like you all are as well. So getting a bunch of those monkeys off my back. There's no lack of video production going on. It's just not for this channel. So that said, cool, fun, exciting thing. I have a buddy, Jarek. Jarek has edited for me on a couple things. Specifically, we did a highlight promo video for Seattle. I dropped the whole snippet actually here on the video titled with Jim Carr's name about professional videos and what we did there. So he's fantastic. He's awesome. He's been coming out to some of the events, and as we grow and experience more success on this Patreon channel and the YouTube and Facebook channels themselves, I'm going to work with him more on actually building that out. So part of my goals on Patreon, as you may have noticed I've been promoting, is to work towards those goals to where we can start to have funds to work on those sort of things. I could work on bringing on more talent for both writing and editing. The writer I've introduced on this channel before, Daytona, fantastic, sharp dude. They're really good at like figuring these things out with me. And then the other side is the editing side, which for now is Jarek. And so just know, like, that's kind of, I guess, the behind the scenes and what's happening on building this sort of thing up. Business is a lot. I don't know if I missed anything else. I know where I'll be traveling. I'll get that up on the website. I'll be sharing those as Patreon posts, connecting with as many people as I can. I've got some cool stuff from Norway, including this really cool company called Favors. I've got the Lebanon Association Behavior Analysis. They just announced their first annual conference over there. We've got an episode with them that I've been sitting on for a while. What else? Brazil's out. Dubai's done. The next and last one I think there is Egypt. I've got those out. And then I have an absolutely fantastic plan for January with Opera and Coffee. That will be a whole nother video. So I'll end that there, leave it there. Expect the Behavior Bus explanation first. I'm going to record that now and post it in a few days for you and you only. And then expect an update on what's going on with Bath with Opera and Coffee a little bit later as well, just exclusively for you. So let me know if you like these. I try to just riff and give you something that's valuable just for you all. I enjoy connecting with you all more, like seeing those little hearts on the Patreon likes and any sort of comments come in. Like, that makes my day. Know that. You don't have to do it, but it makes my day if you write something in there and you say something. I like that back and forth engagement. It gets a little lonely, believe it or not, hanging out in a studio that is 11 by 13 all day for 12-hour days and talking to inanimate objects. That said, I think that's your behind the scenes update. Hope you all had a fantastic holidays. Be safe for the New Year's, and I will see you as soon as I get some of this Norway video up and out. So that's your Patreon behind the scenes, I guess.